and the way you deal with it is food and Judge
Yeah.
Judy.
Yeah, we like Judge Judy.
Yeah, we sit down and
Each
we
night.
can eat and we watch 2 Judge Judy. So
Yeah.
but what a rut!
Who doesn't love Judge Judy, right?
Oh, I hated her. I hated the sound of that woman's voice. My dad used to watch her,
Yeah.
and I used to say, "How can you watch that woman?" I couldn't even stand the sound of her voice.
We love her now, though.
Now, two judges a day. Hi there, my name's Kelly, and this is my husband Colin.
Hello.
Welcome to our weight loss journey. I guess to get things rolling, maybe I'll tell you a little bit about myself, starting from when I came over from the States to the UK. That's probably a good place to start, I think, right? Okie doke. When I came over here,
What year was that?
the year was 2004, January of 2004. And interestingly enough, I was just going to say the year I came over. God. Gray hair, not before I came over here. I'll say no more. Okay. Anywho,
So,
when I came over here, I wasn't exactly a skinny mini, but I probably weighed around 120. Hovering between 120 and 130, but it was probably about closer to 120 when I came over here.
pounds.
Pounds, yeah, pounds.
Yeah.
And I'll just cut to the chase of why I'm sitting here in this chair today. I've put on, so I've been here since 2004. It's now January 2017, and I have put on about 100 pounds. And obviously I feel like crapola.
What are you weighing now then?
Well, what I weigh now is roughly about, no, not roughly, it's 236.
Right.
236.
So like you're 116 pounds heavier than when you first came over here?
Yeah,
Wow.
100. You know, and it starts creeping on, as you guys would know, it starts creeping on a little bit. You might have to go up the next size. And now I'm just wearing fat clothes and I can't, you know, wearing men's shirts because they come in the bigger sizes. Yeah, it's just stuff like that. What this has done to the quality of my life. Now, I also have a medical condition, and it's called fibromyalgia. Some of you guys might know what that is, but it's a drag. It means I kind of hurt from head to toe. I've had that for a long time. In fact, I'm currently not able to work because of that. When I was single and living back in the States, when I began to gain weight, and I did get heavy and lose, never this heavy. This is the heaviest I've ever been. I was able to reel it back in, but I'll tell you, in our experience anyway, there is a dysfunction. If you have somebody, now Colin will tell you himself that he has kind of always been on the bigger side and has struggled more than in my case. But with the two of us having that food addiction, overeating, whatever you want to call it, it's the comfort aspect. You know, the food is there if you're having a bad day or if you're having a good day, if you want to celebrate or if you're completely miserable. You know, food is such a source of comfort. And you've got to eat. If you're an alcoholic, you abstain from booze. If you're a drug addict, you don't do drugs. But we've got to eat. And everybody that's tried to lose weight or struggled with food knows that's a fundamental truth, isn't it? It's been unreal. And it's also the BS that's involved, if I can say that, has gotten worse and worse and worse. Now, we can just, if we're, you know, trying to set something up or if we're getting ready to start again, you know, for the thousandth, millionth, trillionth time, we can just look at each other. And it's like, who's going to come out with the line of yes first?
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to do it, or am I going to do it? You know?
I'd say we're about 50-50 at the moment.
Yeah, but it's like we know, and it's because we both really have, you know, we're in trouble, and
it's hard to admit that we're in trouble, really. I think.
I think it's been harder for you.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's been harder for you. But, you know, I remember when we were talking about comfort eating. It was like a breakthrough when you realize that that is what you did.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And there's a name for it.
Comfort eating.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't realize.
No, well, I do the phrase comfort eating, but I didn't really associate that with myself. And actually, comfort eating and depression.
Right.
Before you came over, I was like, depression. You know, get over it. Get over yourself.
Right.
But I realised now that condition really exists. As a matter of fact, you know, I think I might have some tendencies to suffer from that sometimes.
Well, because you've got so much, you know, you get so much crap.
Yeah.
Facing you, and when you've got all life to deal with, and the way you deal with it is food and Judge Judy.
Yeah, we like Judge Judy.
Yeah, we sit down and we
night.
can eat and we watch 2 Judge Judy. So
yeah.
But what a rut!
Who doesn't love Judge Judy, right?
Oh, I hated her. I hated the sound of that woman's voice. My dad used to watch her, and I used to say, "How can you watch that woman?" I couldn't even stand the sound of her voice.
We love her now, though.
Now, two judges a day, but that in itself becomes a rut. And it's a comfortability. You just kind of sink into that. And if you're having a difficult day or whatever, or a great day, it's like the thing to look forward to is something that you want to eat, and settling with the Judge Judy and whatever else. So this is a weight loss journal, but it's bigger than that for us. This is a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
We over the years, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. Not only physically, I mean, you can see that we're big. Now, what that does to your body, you hurt from that. You know, poor Colin with his knees and his back. But health-wise, I mean, that's a whole nother reality that's staring at us both in the face.
So we're ready to do it, right?
Yeah. I think we've hit the bottom, I hope, because years have gone by and we've continued and continued and continued, and it's like, oh my God, we cannot foresee, because it's making life miserable. It's just making life miserable. Our addiction to food affects the way we think about everything. I think it's maybe because we're so frustrated with the food issue that we're not able to enjoy life. And we're young. We're young at heart. You know, we're young up here. And, I want to go go-karting. I want to go do paintballing. You know, I want to do all these fun things. And I can't do it the way I want to do it. So anyway.
Shall I tell them a little bit about myself then?
Yeah.
So we don't want this introduction video to be
boring.
Boring our video. But we just wanted you guys out there to know where we were.
Yeah.
So obviously, my name's Colin. I'm obviously British. We met online in 2003.
4.
Met online 2004. I live in a place called Birmingham in England. It's quite a big town, and Kelly was having to come over here anyway, just for another reason, and I offered to show her around, and we ended up hooking up, and then.
That doesn't sound very romantic.
I don't mean hooking up.
No, we didn't hook up. When I first came over here.
Yeah.
And then you asked me to marry you.
Okay.
About 8 months later.
6 months later.
6 months later.
Yeah.
6 months
You're
later.
all the one on dates. Okay. She came over. We got together. We liked each other. Kelly said she fell in love with me before she came over.
I did.
But anyway, to cut that story, long story short, we were engaged after 6 months. We went back to the States to get all the relevant paperwork, the visas and stuff. And then 12 months after we first met, we got married in this country. And we've been married now. We've just celebrated our 12th wedding anniversary.
Oh, amazing.
Who'd have thought? Well, anyway, so I'm obviously, and we decided to settle in this country, in Birmingham. So we're married, we're both overweight, we both struggle with our weight. I've struggled all my life with my weight. There was a time that I did lose about 80 pounds years ago. I'm fed up of dealing with this, to be honest with you. Physically, you know, the year before Kelly came over here, I was driving my car. I was working at a car hire place, and I was taking a car to deliver to a customer, and I had this real bad load of chest pains and fainted, and I, you know, cut a long story short, ambulance was called. I ended up in hospital. They decided that I'd been suffering from for 12 months, and I didn't know this. I just thought I was overweight. I've been suffering from unstable angina, they call it, which was like, you know, a little bit rocky. They rushed me in, and I think I was 45, 46 at the time, which was quite young. And the outshot of that, after being 3 or 4 weeks in hospital, is that I ended up having a triple heart bypass surgery, open heart surgery, which was a wake-up call for me. And the great thing about that, if I can put a positive spin on it, obviously having a near-death experience wasn't good, but the great thing about that was, after I came out of hospital and I'd had this operation, I saw things with like wide open eyes, and you know, I lost quite a lot of weight when I came out of hospital. I think I eventually ended up losing about 60 or 70 pounds because I was walking a couple of miles every day. This is what they told me to do, and although that was a bad thing to happen, it was a good thing if you understand that. But that was 12, 13 years ago.
No, it was more than that, because I've been here since January of 2004.
14 years probably.
So you said it was like a year or a year and a half?
Yeah, 2003 it was. But it was at least 13 years ago. And I've just let the weight come back, you know, and I'm bigger now than I was before I had to have that heart bypass operation. And since then, just talking about medical issues, I don't want to drone on about it. A couple of 3 years ago, went to the doctors, had some tests, blood tests, all that stuff, and it seems now that I'm type 2 diabetic, which I really couldn't accept, but I am. I'm type 2 diabetic, so I'm having to take medication for that. So, you know, I've got this thing about being diabetic, I've got this thing about a pre-existing condition of the heart bypass. My health, if you were a doctor, you'd look at me and say, you need to sort yourself out.
I know, scary.
It scared me, to be honest with you. And I said to Kelly, after Christmas we have to get on the case with this and do something about this. And this is where we are right now. We've both got our health problems. You know, we're both committed to each other, and as committed we are to each other, we want to be committed to this lifestyle change.
Yes,
now we call it a diet if we want. We like to call it a lifestyle change.
It is a lifestyle change.
But it really is, the crux of it is it's a diet.
Yes.
A healthy eating.
Yes, that's the foundation from which everything else is going to spring from. Because anybody, if you've struggled with this, once you start eating the way you know you should, and maybe beginning to get some exercise, and the losing of the weight, then you start feeling a bit better about yourself. And you start feeling a bit better about yourself, doesn't it change? You don't feel so, you know.
Well, I'm weighing in now at 322 pounds.
Yeah.
I weighed ourselves yesterday. I'm weighing in at 322. I've never been as big as that. I've been up to the late 200s, but never over 300s. I'm 322 now, and my goal weight I really want to get down to about 170, 180 pounds.
That's about right for your height, I think.
So that's our goal weight. Your goal weight is...
I'd like to get down to 120 pounds.
We can do this. We haven't got to want to be honest with you right now. We haven't got a solidified plan of how to do this.
Not
Right?
at all.
We know that we've got to eat healthier. We know we've got to get exercise.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. We know sort of what we're going to do for the next week or 2 weeks maybe
Yeah.
about eating. Exercise might have to wait a couple of weeks. We might do a couple of gentle walks.
Right.
But we haven't got a plan, but we have got a mindset, and our mindset is right. No more. No more.
Oh.
This is it. We've come to the end of
Yeah.
the line. And we were inspired really a lot to do this by watching other people's weight loss videos, diaries, journals,
Right,
whatever you call it,
right.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of ladies out there doing it, a couple of men, but we never saw a couple together doing it.
Yeah, we're a little bit unique, aren't we?
She's holding my hand at the moment.
I am.
We want to do it together, and we thought, you know, if you could come along with us, follow on our journey. I'll do my best to make the most interesting videos I can. But what we'd really like you to do is, if you could like our videos, follow us, subscribe to us.
Yeah. Why not?
You know, spread the word around. If we, you know, encourage us, leave some comments and give us some tips if you have any. Just, we'd like to be part of this weight loss community on YouTube, because we feel like by doing that, then it'll encourage us, and then maybe we can share our stories. And I know somewhere down the line we're going to be looking at this video and saying, look at that first video we made,
Right.
and this will be our before
Yeah.
video, if you want to call it that.
And we've already taken our fat pictures.
Yeah,
but
we have
I'm not going to show you them yet.
Well, we might.
Are we?
Not on this first video though. Somewhere down. No, we don't want to put you off straight away.
No,
You know what I
no.
mean?
We've got our fat pictures for when we lose
Yeah.
our weight. Then the big reveal, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We've got our fat pictures with pretty much in our
Disgusting.
underwear.
Yeah.
You know. pictures.
Disgusting.
And as you know, if you're
Anyway.
a bigger person out there, it's not easy to take pictures of yourself with everything out. You know what I mean? So that was hard for me to do. I know that, and I don't know you. You seem to.
I just
embrace
don't
it.
even. I don't even see myself anymore.
All right.
I just.
We should
don't
cut
even-
this video short
Okay.
because
Done.
we don't want to bore the pants off people.
Okay.
So, hi. We want to introduce
Hi.
ourselves.
Yeah. Done that.
We're going to go for this, and we intend to record a video each week, probably on a Wednesday. Well, yeah, certainly on a Wednesday. We're going to record it, and it will be uploaded
Thursday.
on Thursday. So, if you want to subscribe to our channel, we'd appreciate it. If you
Yeah.
have any comments, we'd appreciate that. If you want to like our videos, we'd appreciate that as well. But in the meantime, just wanted to say hi, and this is our introduction
Yes.
to our weight loss
Journey.
journey. So we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Thank you for watching.
See you down the road.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.